Chantal, do you know of any of our users who would be really good community managers of a Reno chat?
The Reno one.
Yeah, I feel like we
Um,
should make a Reno chat. That is,
yeah, totally makes sense. Um, I wonder if Jordan Escamilla, I think is his name. I think he's from Reno and he's in there all the time. Um, both in like the investor chat and the maggot army.
yeah, I know who he is. I was just curious if anyone stood out to you.
Yeah, that's the only one I can think of that I believe is in Reno. I can't quite remember who else is in the Reno area.
What's up, Todd? How's it going?
Very good. Very good. How about you?
Good. Sounded good today.
Thanks, man. That was fun.
You guys gonna head down to the office?
Yeah, I know John's gonna head down there pretty quick. I'll probably be a couple hours at least before I get down there, but I'll be down there as well.
Cool.
I'm gonna try and get Zane in the office too if he has time.
All right.
Reach out to him.
I know he's got a lot going on today, but I'm sure he can make it down.
Cool. Let's see what he says.
Chantal, I just had a user, Summer McNeely, reach out saying she's trying to find her email to the investor chat and can't find it. Um,
Okay.
yeah, let's get her in there.
Could you text me her name so I can look
Yeah,
it up properly?
yeah.
I've been getting a few and I'm like a little nervous about missing something because like sometimes they get buried and like constantly going all the way down. Like, did I miss it? Because sometimes I've noticed that it will say red even if I didn't read it. Like the red dot will be gone. And so I'm like checking, did I respond?
Maybe you click the push notification.
Possibly.
Well, good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Morning. Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Shall we get started, huh? What were you saying?
I said got some investments rolling in after the segment.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it felt good.
Hey, before we start, how do you want to respond to these people talking about, do we have a chat here? Do we have a chat there? Because my instinct was to be like, you can create any chat you want. And as we expand, we're going to be building out chats in new regions and bringing in community managers. But it's kind of risky just having people start them on their own because they might lose heart knowing how difficult it is to bring people into one and get it growing and engaged and managed properly.
Depends on the chat. I mean, some of them are doing pretty good.
Like Arena one, for example, would we want to select a community manager and build it out on our own, or do we want to let the users build their own?
I think I have mixed feelings. I kind of like the idea of them doing it themselves. So, yeah, I think we should assist them with how to do it. I bet that one actually be really popular.
I do
Yeah,
too.
we should. I think for that one we should definitely have whoever's asking about it. Yeah, tell them you actually can do it yourself, and here's how.
Cool.
Give them some tools, and we can help them invite people from Reno as well, because obviously that'll be their core
Yeah,
target audience.
100%. Okay,
But
cool.
yeah, I like that idea. I mean, because I think ultimately that's going to be a growth driver is people running their own communities and feeling that pride when it grows and everything. So
Yeah,
it does
I
feel
do too.
good. I see people joining the veterans chat, and it's really cool.
Yeah, it is.
Getting there.
Yeah. Yep. So let's get started. Amit, how's it going?
Going good. So today, like yesterday discussed, I work on creating a script for deleting trust script, invalid trust script. So first, before deleting it, I have put it in the Excel sheet. So just I want to review with everyone. Like I will share this Excel sheet. You can see total we have just a bit. How many invalid trust tip images are there? So total I found that 800 invalid trust tip.
Is that right? Okay.
Hmm.
And they're all really old. Is that the wait? Those dates don't look that old. 2025.
So this is the running date today. I
That's
run it.
today. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is my. But I can say this profile key is a new one. Might be this one is the also new. So why
Let's
it's
make sure we don't. Yeah. Let's make sure there's not some other issue.
hmm. So yeah, so like might be this one like when try to create its image key created but image not uploaded that with this issue here.
Let's find out for sure.
So I take it. See, I take it using that image key. Let's go to the primary bucket here
Okay.
and find that image key. I did not find it here. See, yep, see, not find. Let's go for 9247. Also, that is not present here.
And what the image key is not being found? Okay. So how does that
Well,
happen?
so like this image key is creating our database, and we are forming image key image URL based on the image key. But that image is not present there. So what is happening now? Using that image key, we are storing image on Cloudinary.
But it's not being stored.
Yep.
We should get to the bottom of this. Can you investigate a little further?
Yeah, I will investigate.
Looks like four images on the same profile, right? Seen that right? No,
Yeah.
three.
287 6287.
Yeah.
3. Yes.
Yeah, three for that one.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
something went wrong there. Yeah,
So
let's
that's
find
why
out, why. Maybe we can look at it briefly.
yeah. So first I drafted in that CSV. That's why I not related directly. Profile. So not at all. This is the profile.
Okay, interesting.
Even this profile created on 30 of May,
Okay, just a couple weeks ago.
a couple of weeks ago.
And those three images failed to upload, but we got three image keys. How does that
Yes,
happen?
image key. And let's see. Let me go to the table. Original place table. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Monday, Tuesday, and when it's created here, that but last it is last at 35, 125, and created on Ismail. This table isn't have created it. So, but it's created on 30th of May, and why it's not? Let me just go to the image table for it. Someone try to add trustee. Let me check it.
Mhm.
Select it. Strip on CL dot profile image. Where profile profile is equal to this one. Profile it has one profile key 96245 original one. So 96245 is original one. Has the image. Yeah, this is someone tried to add trust tip that time. Let me go to trust tip table.
Maybe while you're doing this,
Yeah, you can continue. Yeah, other can continue.
yeah, well, also send the user ID.
Hmm.
Jerry, could you look into this user ID and see if
41393.
okay, if there was any well, first, is there a session replay? This would have been 3 weeks ago, almost. Yeah, about 3 weeks ago. And is there anything that stands out? Like this person did anything
Trusted key is equal to.
that could have caused it to fail?
Can you send me all the data you have for this?
Yes, I will send it to you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you try to upload 3 images, trusted images, all failed.
Yeah, well, this is recent, so we want to make sure we're not.
Absolutely the best. He added trust tip. Absolutely the best braised beef taco in the downtown.
Is that there? Let's see if that shows up. I imagine that shows up, just not the images, right?
Mm, Yes,
Let's see. Sonora Town in LA, right?
right. Yeah, it is on Los Angeles. Not
There are two. I think that one was on 8th Street, right? Yeah, okay, I found it. And yeah, there, sure enough, the trust tip is there. Images are not there. 21 days ago. This user, he's very active in the app. We could probably just ask him too, like if he did something unusual, if we need to reach out to him.
Mhm.
43-day streak. Okay, all right. See what you can dig up. I want to make sure we're not.
I will dig it in the trust tip also. Okay.
We don't want that to be a ongoing thing.
Okay.
Okay. Um, let me move on. Yeah. So, Ismail, why don't you give your update?
Yeah, yeah, sure. Let me actually show it.
All right.
Going to be exciting. Now it all looks pretty and functioning. So, all right. I also thought it'll take a little longer, but make good progress. Okay, so uh, I'm a user. I want to tag someone, right? So let's go ahead and pretend, this is a picture of people, and I click here. So remember this place because it's going to save it.
Okay.
It pulls up a drawer saying tag a friend, has suggestions at the beginning, and then your contacts at the bottom.
Nice.
And you can just choose you, John. Now notice see, it saved the location. And you're there, and has your name in there. Move it anywhere you want after you're done.
That's
Remember the
really cool.
location again.
Yeah. Add somebody else.
Nice.
See, say kept the old location, and see how the widths are different. So I have to make sure when you tag, it takes that into consideration and it centers it to match your click based on the different widths. Obviously has boundaries. You can't leave the image, and yeah,
That's great. That's looking really good. You'll need a little extra width in the edit portion of it, so there's room for the X.
Oh, the X, yes, that I still need to add that. So that will be included. Where the width is measured dynamically, so even after I add that, it will still be centered. But
Cool.
yeah, I need to add that X now, and the search here also works, so you can like search for people,
Excellent.
and yeah, after you select it, it clears the search, it hides it, all that.
That's awesome. That's looking really good.
Um,
So,
yeah.
can you save it yet, or no?
So so now that's the final steps to get this in a build, which is add that X so we can remove them, and I need the API to save it. So as of right now, so I try to prevent duplicates. So if I go again and I select John again, you can see nothing happens, and there was a few challenges with this because initially I used the what's it called, the user key as the unique identifier to prevent duplicates. But then I realized that if you are inviting somebody who's not in circles, that would be null, and I was still able to create duplicates. So I added more logic where take user key. If that's not available, take the phone number. Um, so that way, even this person is not in circles. But if I go to try to add them again, um, it won't because the phone number matched. Um, so that should cover like 90% of the cases or 95. Now in a unique case where the user doesn't have is not a user and they have a contact saved but not as a phone number, I don't know if I think we filter it, but in case we don't, only in that case it would be null and they would technically be allowed to make duplicates. That's the only case.
I see. Okay. In what case again?
If this contact right here
Mm.
doesn't have a phone number and is not a circle user.
How
I
would
mean,
they?
I can go one step further and look for email, but I don't think we store that.
How would they not have a phone number?
No, I'm just saying, like, so I can save a contact without having a phone by email only.
True.
But I think we
we-
filter that.
Yeah, I think we exclude them.
Yeah, so technically this should be good to go, but I'm just saying, worst case scenario, there's somehow something not in there.
Right.
It would only let you create it twice. Like, it's not the end of the world, but I'm just saying that's the only case where technically you can create, like, you can create two tags of the same name. Basically, they
Okay.
will still be treated differently. You can still remove them, but just kind of explaining what the logic here. But yeah, I think we don't have to worry about that. I don't think that's going to be because like we do filter, and the person at least has to have a phone number. So
Well, yeah, that's great. It's looking really good.
yeah, and it maps 1-to-1. Now the only or the last two pieces that are left is removing using the well, there's three things. I have to also distinguish if I took the user key as the identifier or I took the phone number. If it's the user key, it would be gray. If it's the phone number, it would be pink. Did we decide? Did we finalize that design?
For now, yeah.
Okay,
I'll
with
let you
the
changes.
with
But
the little plus.
yeah, I haven't asked really anybody yet, but I will today.
But yeah, if you want to finalize that design and make it clickable, then I would have to create that invite logic though. That's still not there.
Yeah. Well, we'll use it in two places at least. Remember
Um,
the SOT.
Yeah, that's correct. So that will have to be implemented, and the remove logic and the saving to the backend. So I'm going to talk to who's going to be working on this backend so I can send what I need. Is it going to be Ahmed or Jerry?
Good question.
Which one?
What do you think? have you've been working on this back end already, right?
Yes, which one? Tagging photo?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. What kind of question do you have, Ismail?
I'm just gonna send him what I'm gonna be sending, the object and how I want it retrieved.
Okay, yeah,
Okay,
send it to me.
so,
Perfect.
okay,
Yeah.
so it's just gonna be one mutation, one query, basically.
Yep.
Cool.
Okay. Um. So let me see. I did have a few questions. Oh, about the tapping. So as soon as the user clicks on the picture, they're just gonna be presented with this, where it just says
Yeah.
tap to tag someone.
Mhm.
That's gonna work.
That's the idea. Yeah. I did want to ask about what if the picture had a lot of height to it, like a full screen. I think we have a shadow behind the bottom. Is that right?
That is correct.
Okay. So just make sure it still shows up, everything clear.
Yeah. But about the tapping part, should we have a long press to tag? Because what if I want to like double click to zoom in?
I don't think so because I thought the same thing, but I guess Instagram you just tap.
But so Instagram, how do you get to this flow?
You do it while you post an image, so it's a little different for us because the image is already posted.
Mm, okay. Uh, yeah. So
I
okay.
would say just
So like,
tap.
yeah, I just think it's a little weird to every time you tap, it's gonna do that. I'm just saying maybe.
I mean, it's Instagram. That's what they do.
Well, correct, but they only have that as like you said when you're posting. It's not after it's posted,
Oh, I see what you're saying.
because like I, for example, use the double tap to zoom in a lot.
Oh, do you? Hmm.
Yeah.
Well,
So I'm
can't we
just
still let that happen?
the double tap.
Yeah,
I mean,
because that's different than a single tap.
but the initial tap doesn't trigger it. So I don't know if we can like have a delay.
What do you mean
Uh,
the initial tap doesn't trigger it?
No, I'm saying like a double tap. Even if you have a double tap, the initial tap would trigger it because it's not like
Oh, I see.
yeah. Or if you have a
There's
long
probably a
press.
way. There's probably a way to do. Yeah, you'd have to have a slight delay. But
Yeah.
I've seen that before. Like because a single tap does one thing, a double tap does something else, so there must be some little delay.
Maybe there's a way to do it, you know.
Or were we not just
Um,
going to have a button that says like tap here to tag people, like a button that initiates that action?
Well, we're just copying Instagram here, which that's word for word. They say tap to tag someone you're not.
Hmm. Facebook did a thing, I think they still do it, where they identify faces and images and then
Yeah,
tell you like they
we talked about that too, but like someone could be behind a DJ or something like that. You know, like taking the picture from behind them.
oh well yeah. I just mean it's kind of nice because it actually prompts you, like it recognizes, oh, this isn't a picture of
Yeah,
a
but it won't
steak.
always be able to do that. We talked this through a lot last week.
Oh really?
Yeah. So, and I had the same questions, but no, look, we've already talked all this through.
Cool.
So let's just go with it how it is, Ismail, and then we'll decide later if there's a problem. But
okay.
if we want to improve, I do have another question though. The tap to tag someone, being that this picture has short height to it, is it possible to have the tap to tag kind of move up, like could more dynamic where it knows where the bottom of the picture is, and then but this would be as low as it would go.
Mm,
So
um,
it's
yeah.
it'd be nice to have. It's not like critical, but it is
Yeah.
kind of weird that it's like way down there. But it's not critical.
Okay. Uh, yeah. If I have time, I'll upload it for the build.
Okay.
I'll
And then,
track it because I have to like. I mean, I already have the image dimension, so maybe I can take advantage of that too.
right.
Yeah. So
Even
I'll
if
say.
it's just up halfway between where the X is,
Mm,
it won't have matter on like the like long like more portrait,
mm-hmm.
but um and then yeah, the other question was I think I already asked about the portrait size ones, just to make sure there is a gradient and everything behind it.
I think there is. Let me see. Well, let me tag someone first so that it because this is clickable and that's zoom. So see, that's it.
Yep.
You can see that there is
That's actually real good there. So
a gradient, so you can always. But then this also comes. Let me see. Yeah, and it does take priority of this, the X over the tapping of the button.
what do you mean?
What I mean is, right now, if you click anywhere on the picture, like here.
Hmm.
Oh wait, when you're zoomed in, you can't tag because it.
I don't.
Oh
I
wait,
think.
that's good. I think that's a good thing. You don't want to
Hmm.
tag when you're zoomed in after you zoom out. Okay, okay, yeah, that's better because that destroys the whole um
Mapping.
the mapping and it destroys the because like I get the initial file
Mm.
or image within height, and then if you were able to do that, that would be very problematic. Like even moving this is tricky when you're zoomed in. It becomes a lot more sensitive.
I think that we shouldn't let it zoom if they're in the process of tagging, maybe because
Well, the tagging,
mm,
that's the thing. There's no process of tagging. It's always active. And you can
once you
always
tap,
drag.
once you tap it, you are in the process. The process has begun. You see, that's where it should stay. It's respect its height and width because then now you're in like a work mode. Like if I did it a iMessage or like in their editor, it's um it's like in a box when you start editing videos and images and stuff.
Um, mm, sorry, I don't think I'm following.
I guess simply put, I think it would be safer bet once someone taps on here to start this tagging process, we don't let them zoom.
Yeah, but so there's no that's kind of my point where I'm saying there's no way to activate this. Like it's you're already in kind of in tag mode as soon as you open the picture.
Aren't you? Can't you make it to where it's not until you tap the picture?
Mm, well, the flow is when you say in the flow, like you can always drag.
Can we make it so okay, let's take it from the beginning. So if you come in here from like remove that tag, well, I
Okay.
guess can't well, yeah, start over. Okay, so here is this is like where everyone will start. Um,
Mm-hmm.
you could zoom in and do whatever you want if you want here. But if you
Okay.
tap, go ahead and tap it. Now something new is happening here.
Okay.
And this is where I would, if you were zoomed, I would force the picture back to its normal size.
Mm. Well, that's not the problem
The problem is that
because
would already
because
be
you
zoomed.
you can't tag when you're zoomed to begin with. So let's say I'm
Yeah,
zoomed.
let's start over. Go ahead. Wait,
I
let's start
can't
from the beginning.
tag when I'm zoomed.
Let's try from zero just to make sure.
Well, okay, so uh, let me see
Yeah,
how I can
yeah,
zoom. I think I have to press. Let me see the commands like this. Oh, there we go.
there you go. Yeah,
So
now tap.
now I can't tag.
I think if you tap it, it should go back to normal size because it does say tap. So I tap it,
Yeah.
it should go right there.
Well, if
Just
I double tap it, it goes back to normal size. But yeah, not a single tap.
yeah. Can you make it so it's a single tap? And then I'm thinking maybe it should actually apply the tag as well, or maybe now you can tag it.
Um. Well, okay. A lot of these things are not as easy done as said because this double tap functionality and the zoom out all came from the library itself. So
Yeah.
tweaking them might be possible, but I don't know how. Like I still have to kind of play with it to see what's possible and what's not.
Yeah, I
Like
know.
I can change the behavior, like the gesture of a single tap would zoom out and so on. So
Yeah,
I'll
I
just
didn't
have to
think
kind
about
of.
it really because I forgot you could like zoom. That does add a wrinkle to it. The zoom capability.
Yeah, which can maybe like we can probably disable it, but That's why I'm saying maybe a tag button would be like this isn't
Oh,
like
yeah.
when this is here, it's in tag mode, but you have to like activate it by pressing something or doing something, and then all those are like disabled. You can only tag. Just an idea.
Yeah. I want it to be familiar. And I like the zoom. I think that the easiest answer, if for at least from the user point of view, is that when you tap it, it goes back to this size. If you're zoomed, that would really be the only tweak you'd have to do to the library.
Mm,
Because everything else would fall into place.
okay. I'll see if how that can be achieved.
Okay. Because it still would line up with Instagram and it'd line up with what it says right there. I would figure it out. Like if it was zoomed and I tapped it and it went back to this, I would tap it again to get the tag.
Yeah. Mm, I guess, but there's also the challenge of if I already if I have you tag and I zoom in, dragging this can maybe I don't know if I can disable this or you can't. Like it will just do this. It'll kind of merge it in with the image. Well, not merge it, but act like it's merged in with the image and just
Or
drag.
maybe easier than that, and maybe um, more intuitive for the user would be disable the zoom once there's a tag.
Um, like they
Because
still want to zoom, like especially if it's a big
no,
picture and people are tagged. You want to see who that person is tagged. You want to zoom in their
well,
face.
you can drag it. So that's not, you should not be able to zoom at this point. Other people can, after there's a tag, they can zoom as much as they want because they can't drag it. But the drag with zoom is a problem. It's going to create a high degree of difficulty for you.
Yes, what I'm saying is we'll zoom, but you can't drag when you're zoomed in. Like if you
Okay.
try to drag, it'll just do this.
Okay. Yeah. Either way, I guess either approach, either don't let them zoom if they've tagged, or yeah, don't let it drag if they
Y-
zoom.
Yeah, I feel like I don't want to take away a functionality from a user in
You
terms
would
of not
have to
allowing
take
them to
something
zoom.
away. You have to take something away. You have to take the dragging away or the zooming away.
No, what I'm saying is they can't drag. I mean, i- yeah, they can't drag, but they will still be able to zoom. But if they zoom out, they can drag again.
They won't know that. I,
Um,
I think I I think the more logical approach
or
for a
we can
user,
have it if I can somehow detect that, we can also tell them.
yeah,
The,
I would look at it this way. The tagging process is a task
Mhm.
versus um, looking at photos as a user is more of like a leisure type of activity, whereas you're tagging, you're in a task. And once that task has begun, there should be rules. And I think that's normal. And I would expect that the image would be, if I'm tagging, I would expect the image to be fully visible to me, not being able to zoom at that point. I'm not casually viewing anymore. I'm not leisurely viewing. I am now in a task. So that task has to be laid out on my canvas with a full screen view of it. I think that would make more sense.
well, that's true, but we there's a big fluke in that where we allow people to edit their own tag, so that kind of makes anybody who's tagged, part of
Yeah,
that
once you
task.
tag people, can, and I don't know how Instagram is, can you just still move around the tag anytime you want?
I don't honestly I've never used that feature
Yeah,
on. I don't post much on Instagram, so
let me ask Chantel. Chantel, once you tag somebody on Instagram, or Jerry, you might know too, can you just go back and move the tag around at will?
It's a process. It's not easy. But yeah, you can do it. It's
Yeah.
a
Okay.
hassle.
If you remember that
It's not a
process,
good experience.
did you see that? Remember that process that I shared my screen? It's all through that same flow.
Okay. Okay. So okay. It's not straightforward. That means this shouldn't be either. You shouldn't be, once you tag someone, it should be pretty fixed. In other words, now you're back to the leisurely viewing. And that's a different activity than a task of tagging. The task of tagging, the image should give you the whole height and width. So you know where everybody's face is, you know where every element of that image is when you do your task. And that means you should never, I don't think you should ever be able to move a tag around or be tagging zoomed. And that makes it easier too, because now your math stays within the proportions of the height and width. And it's only one new rule, like one parameter you're applying to this library where, or property of where it can't zoom once you tap the image. If you tap the image, it goes back to here, regular size. And if you tap it again to start the tagging process, you can no longer zoom. But once you're done tagging and you come back here, I don't think you should be able to move around that tag. You could zoom in and out as much as you want, but you can't move the tag.
That I can't.
Now you could
There's
delete the
no
tag. Is that
point
fair? Like
to
the X should be there. So you could delete
well,
it if you didn't like
so
it,
you're saying no dragging at all?
not zoomed.
Okay, not zoomed. Okay.
Definitely dragging for sure, but not zoomed. So if I come back here, I will see red X's because I'm the one who tagged.
Yeah,
I
which
could,
also brings me to the. I think I still also have to create who can drag what. That functionality is still not there.
yeah, yeah,
In
only
terms
the,
of user keys, like so that not anyone can drag anything and update it.
yeah,
But okay, so you have a tag. Now that I have a tag and I'm the editor, that means I see the little X. I can't zoom in anymore. Is that what you're saying?
you can zoom in as much as you want. You can't drag anymore once you've hit like save. I think we have a confirm button.
There is no confirm button. That's
There is.
or there is. Okay, so if there is, okay, so yeah, okay. So we tap to tag. We select someone, and then we have tag three friends. Okay. Okay. Wait a second. Um. Okay, that can add some. Okay, so okay, then after we were done. Okay, so once we're in that. Okay, so the little X and the save go away, and they get
Yeah,
replaced with cancel or tag one or three, depending on how many people you have.
yep.
So that let's call that tag mode.
Task. Yeah, the tag mode, sure.
Yeah.
That's kind of like what I was alluding to with the task you're in. Yeah.
Okay. And then with that, we allow dragging, and we allow when the little X appears. But then after we hit tag, um, we can't drag it anymore,
Right.
but the X
Never.
will still be there,
Yeah, you have the red X. Like if you didn't like the position, you could delete it and you could do
and
it.
then re-tag it.
Yeah, and we will need Jerry to or Ahmed to give us logic that it doesn't message somebody every single time they delete a tag and add a tag, but that's separately.
Okay.
Only just one time per
Okay.
user.
So I still need to add kind of like the admin access where who gets
Yeah,
to see the red X and who gets to actually add a tag. Because also it says tap to tag someone. How about this? I don't know if you thought of this or not. Let's say I tag a photo and
mhm,
then you open the photo, but you also see tag someone you know. So you can now
yeah,
technically add more tags to my tag.
yeah, exactly. I think that was the idea Danny had originally here, right, Danny? That if you're still there, the like two people could contribute to the tags on a photo.
Yes.
But then I have to keep track of who added what so I can see what X's is there.
True.
Okay, so I guess there's still a good amount of work to be done here. Or
Yeah,
not done yet.
no. But I'm glad we're talking it through because these are interesting scenarios. The zoom effect does add a wrinkle, but I think that handles it for the casual leisurely viewer gets to zoom as much as they want. But the tagger in the tag mode, they're in a fixed position, height and width.
Yeah. Okay, now I see what you mean by tag mode. 'Cause I was like, what's tag mode? I forgot that the buttons here change, so that's kind of tag mode.
Yeah.
Okay. Mhm. Okay.
We wanted to give you a hard one when you get back from vacation because you're fresh.
Are there any restrictions on who you can and can't tag?
Well, no, because you know the app doesn't even really know if there's a person there. So I don't, same with Instagram. You don't really
Oh,
know.
sorry. What I just meant like the users available for you to choose from. Like if I clicked on a picture, obviously with you in it, let's say, or my friend, I can tag you.
I think kind of
Are
wide
there
open.
any people who can't be tagged?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Danny can answer that better. Isn't that pretty wide open, Danny, on Instagram?
I have it turned off on Facebook and Instagram. People can't tag me on anything. I've had
Oh,
it that way for years and years and years because I kept
Instagram
on
did
getting
it.
tagged on.
Yeah, they did it, and it eventually initiates some features that let you block it.
I see.
It was mostly
But
just because I kept on getting tagged at places I wasn't at. So it was like, hey, you would enjoy this place that we were at, so we tagged you in this picture, but I wasn't actually there, and then it would show up in my feed for everybody, making it look like I was there.
Interesting. Yeah. Well, we'll have to get all those features in, but Rome wasn't built in a day. We'll get there.
So I feel like we could have that done by end of day, easy.
Oh,
It seems
sure.
like
We'll have this whole thing done.
yeah.
Yeah,
I've
absolutely.
already been tagged in people's check-ins on Circles that it's like I have no idea who you are.
True. I have to.
Yeah, same. Glad people are just using it though. I'd rather let them get tag all willy nilly for now.
Yeah. It's nice having the activity. Okay, so sounds like you got some direction on this, Ismail.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Um.
more to go.
So yeah, I need to get back to drawing board and figure all those out, and yeah, keep working on this.
Okay, I have a question for you too, and I thought I had sent it in Slack, but then I went through our conversation in history. I couldn't find it. So I don't know who I sent it to, but I watch a lot of session replays, and then I see things that are interesting. I think that the friend connect probably would be more effective on those cards. I've seen people try and swipe them with their finger, and perhaps even maybe look behind the top card to see what the next card looks like. I don't know how difficult this is something we need to do today or anything, but like after this whole tagging thing is done, how hard would it be to allow a user to slide the card with their finger, but also not have it swipe all the way away, just like peek behind?
Mm, oof, okay, yeah, that one's not gonna be. So think about it right now is that, oh, we have a set motion. Click a button, that motion happens.
Yeah,
Now you're gonna have the user control that motion with their finger.
right.
So it's gonna be a good amount of work, honestly. Like it's gonna be a decent amount of work to get it to be still going that same trajectory, kind of, but like, because the user will be sliding left or right, but it goes kind of in a arc kind of movement where it's like it,
Yeah.
or I
What if,
forgot
okay,
the
what if
exact animation, but you know what I'm talking about. Like the card rotates and it moves, and
I
that
do?
that all
Okay,
has to be proportional to how much the user slides their finger. And
you're making me think that we could get a happy medium, perhaps doing a simpler version of this where the gesture towards the right makes it do the whole thing instead of having it be totally dynamically controlled by the finger. But like once you do the gesture, it's like tapping the button. That would be easier, right?
that would be a lot easier, yes.
Okay, that would probably be enough. Okay, well, when you're done with this, we'll talk about that again because I do see people doing it and then it doesn't work, and then I think they hit not now because it didn't work, and I'm thinking, well, maybe there's
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So okay, we'll go back to that when the time's
Okay.
right. Cool. Okay, thanks for the update. Let's do Wellington. How's it going, Wells?
Oh, good. I think I have pretty cool updates. Did you see the video I sent you on Slack?
Yeah, I was just looking at that before stand up. Yeah, tell me a little bit about what this show more button, right?
So, in that screen, what we're doing is instead of paginating the trust tips on scroll, we actually paginate them on the button. So the button
That's
is in the
fantastic.
position there.
Yeah, that's much better because now you don't have to worry about the winner circle popping in each pagination.
Yeah, indeed. And a cool, nice touch that we can add there, and that is just yesterday, is showing how many trust tips are more. And to do that, right now we cannot do that because we don't have the data.
Mhm.
How do we do that on the Spotlight People screen? In there, we actually have the total suggestions, but we only show like 4 of them. So you can show like 4 and say 17 more. But in
So I
here,
guess the back end needs to pass the count to the front, right?
exactly, yeah. So in here, we don't know the total amount of trust tips because we are
Okay.
actually fetching them on demand. And instead
So
of actually fetching all of them just to have the data, having a property on the profile telling how many trust tips there are, I think is a good solution because that is valuable information to have, right?
yeah, I like that. Amit, when we fetch the trust tips, the front end needs to know how many there are. Like if there's 18, we want to show 10, and then the button will say show eight more.
Hmm.
You, are you able to do that for Wells? Amit, are you there?
Yes, and I'm here.
Did you hear me?
And I hear you, but I did not catch you. Can you repeat?
Okay, so we want when the trust tips are displayed, we want to know the count. Like if there's 18 trust tips, the front end
Hmm?
needs to know the count so they can show 10 and then have a button that says show 8 more.
Okay. I
Basically,
think
we in a
that
property
system
shows
might
how many
be.
trust tips there are in a profile.
Yeah, I will return total count there.
Okay, will you work with Wells on that?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Amit. Okay,
Sounds
so
good.
Wells, yeah, he'll get that for you.
Yes, sir. And also, on the when you go to share a badge, before it would say comment on, and now it says, let me see here.
Oh yeah, and share it was at share.
Yeah.
Instead,
So
like
instead of comment on, it says share to.
you already changed that.
Yeah, I did add that. It's gonna be on the PR along with the trust tip stuff.
Cool.
And by the way, I believe for the trust tips, we can submit it as they are, right? And then add another PR later for adding the amount of trust tips. Does that sound good?
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Yep. So we'll have that going, and also, right now I am implementing the on the winner circle. When you press on profile, you actually navigate that profile.
Okay,
Yep.
great. So you're still implementing that?
Yeah, I'm doing that right now.
Okay, great. Very good. Sounds like we're making good progress. Anything else to add?
Yes, sir. I don't think I have anything else to add.
All right. Very good. Yeah, just keep me posted if you need anything, let me know. And going great so far though. Good job.
Yeah, sounds awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. So Jerry, let's get your update. I'm curious if you and Amit got to the bottom of why those images didn't show up.
I tried to uploading on the same profile, same images, able to upload it. So, Jerry, did you find something on Centric for that time period?
Sorry, yeah, I'm still trying to find a session replay. It's an old session replay from May, so I got to sift through a little bit, change some filters.
You can search by user key.
Yeah, I'm searching by user key. I just have to.
Oh
Yep.
yeah. And then go like 30 day.
Yeah, well, it's on May 30th, but he's still an active user and he has a lot of sessions. So
Oh, well,
Yeah.
that's true. He has a 43-day streak. That's right.
yeah, so I got to go through all his sessions and get all that good stuff. I
Okay.
mean, on the 31st, sometime there, but he still has pages and pages of session replays.
Wow.
So hey, it's a good thing. Very
Yeah,
active
yeah.
user. Let's
More users like that.
yeah, more users like that where it's hard to find their session replay. So I'm just trying to find, let's see, it's like, yeah, almost like at midnight on the 30th. Let's see. Oh, and I can't even filter. I can't even filter by the time. Let's see. Maybe if I do this. But yeah, TBD on that.
Okay. Yeah, just keep me posted. What else got going on?
I got to finish up these SMSs. I was working on some other stuff yesterday, but the scheduling for all the clubs. I got the schedules from Todd. I have to get that going. That way we have it ready for today.
Okay.
That way this weekend we can send them out without me having to manually intervene.
That'd be good. Okay. What else? We got the messages updated yesterday for the tagging and and check-ins.
Yeah.
That was good.
Mhm. Let me grab all the updates. Sorry, bouncing between a lot of stuff right now, but yep, the tagging check-ins. Let's see what else. What were we doing? Oh yeah, getting the external chat back working. Grabbing the metrics on the external chat. We updated the invite image to the door. And let me go to this project. Let's see. So I created a new page for the terms of service because we had to like link to it. We had to link to it on like our landing pages, and we didn't actually have a linkable page. It was in the app, but that was hard coded in the app, and there's no web based version of it. So I had to put that in.
I see. Okay.
So I know Ian needs me to look for something for the this is not as high as a priority, but on the edit vendor. So whenever we create stuff on the reward store, we go ahead and when you edit a vendor, their domain or something about the domain field, I have the messages from Ian. Now yeah, and then Todd wanted me to look at something for who was this? Yeah, Pocha House. He wanted me to see check the invites for Pocha House and make sure that everybody came in, got him as Pocha House as the inviter. But I know what we're going to do is, oh shoot, I still need to do that, is when they come in through those messages, actually that's most important, so they don't get Pocha House Bar West, so they don't get them as the inviter in the flow, so they don't go through a start to convo after they onboard.
Right. Okay. Okay. That's good. What else do you have to do on that?
I just have to push it up. I have the users. Todd has the users created for Bar West and all that. So all I got to do is like flag them as don't do a start to convo with these guys.
Okay. That reminded me of something else too. Amin's off today, but I do want to talk about why those badge animations are not playing if you background the app. Do you need Amin for that, Jerry?
Yeah, that's a mean.
Okay. All right. We can talk to him Monday.
Let me see. Okay, I see what he did. It's the optimistic response is why these images didn't upload, I believe.
Oh, good. Okay, you found the
So,
source.
yeah, so right after, because we used the optimistic response on creating the trust tip, as soon as he hit add to favorites, he just like closed the app like immediately.
Yeah, that's
Because they upload in time. So those got to be handled through the background.
okay. How do we do that?
Front end.
Front end. Okay. Okay, Ismail is tied up. Wells tied up. Why don't you can you Slack Amin your findings on that and kind of guide him on what he needs to do?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Amin, where is he? There we go. And if you close the app, I don't know if he closed the app or backgrounded the app. That's the thing. But if you closed it, there's not much we could do. But if you
Yeah.
backgrounded it, maybe there's some hope.
Yeah, maybe we need to put like a little bit of a spinner on those images too, just to make the person think they didn't upload.
Mhm.
Well, wait, with optimistic response, how does that work? How can the app display an image?
The optimistic response is whenever you hit create. So you don't wait for the images to upload, it just like goes to the screen, say, hey, your trust tip's done. But creating that trust tip and uploading the images takes time.
I see. So you're not, yeah, it's not like you see it in front of your eyes on the profile
It's
itself.
actually, I can see the images on the session replay. I don't know if does Amit have the images or
He said he didn't.
yeah, they're actually on the session replay if you look at it. Like you could almost like take those images and upload it from
Well,
there.
so then they are accounted for in the app in some way. So maybe the front end needs to store them. Wait,
It's something with when you background the app before the web request actually finishes.
okay, let's think about this for a second. Okay, okay, I think I have an idea. So let's say I select 3 images. I have not finished the favoriting flow. Currently, our app is designed to send those images to Cloudinary after we finish the favoriting flow. Therein lies the problem because you may close the app too
Mhm.
quickly after the favoriting flow, right?
Correct.
Okay, the idea I have is since we just grabbed the 3 photos from the library, even though I haven't finished the favoriting flow, why don't we immediately send them to Cloudinary in a temp file? And then if they X out, we purge it. If they finish, we attach it.
Mhm.
Okay, so that would be a front end thing again?
Yeah, this is all front end because the front end's the one that uploads it.
I see. Okay, maybe Amin could do that one too. Could you also send him that for me?
Okay. Write it out for me one more time. I got 'em.
The problem we have is that if you pick 3 images, the way it's architected, we don't actually send it to Cloudinary until the favorite process is done.
Oh no, they're sent. I think they're sent with the API call, so it could be a partial. Well, let me.
No,
Okay.
you're seeing them on like the app is seeing them. So
Yeah.
but we're not storing them yet. We should start storing it in some kind of temp file or something immediately.
Okay.
And
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
yeah, because that way we don't have that risk of they close the app and they're gone.
Yeah,
Because that's going to happen again and again.
it's kind of like chat in a way.
Mhm. There probably has to be some backend work, right, with that temp file or whatever you would use on that.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'll have to work with them on that.
Okay, cool. Yeah, will you slack them the front end phase of it for you to at least start thinking about it?
Mhm.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Interesting. All these edge cases. But it's kind of cool that we can identify them. We have the tools to identify, which helps a lot too. Like you being able to visually see the problem really goes a long way. And then, us seeing the problem back end with the missing images, but not accepting that that's just,
Mhm.
going to be the way it is. No, we have a flaw. Not really a flaw, but there's just a consideration that wasn't made in the uploading process. So it's fixable.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we make it better. We're going to make it better. We're going to do like I don't know what we call it, the asynchronous upload, basically.
Right. Yep. Now, what do we do about the ones that already were a victim of this problem? We have this one guy with the 3 there. I saw a couple other recent ones.
Well, if the images aren't in Cloudinary, then
Yeah, they are for sure gone forever.
if they're not in Cloudinary, they're gone. Unless Amit can find them somewhere in Cloudinary, but if not, they'd be gone.
Okay. Those images are gone, Amit?
Yes.
I see. Okay,
That's
so
what URL.
okay, so I guess we need to run a script to delete them.
Yep.
And then we'll work on the front end fix next week.
Okay.
Okay.
Do we have any way to systematically identify missing images from Cloudinary? Like
Well,
running a script to identify?
That's that's going to work on.
Can,
Yeah. It's kind of what it did, but you also kind of have to know what you're looking for too. So we found different ones a couple months ago that happened in a different way, and then we found these ones that happened in this way.
This is very similar to a problem that I dealt with in Field 3 where payments from Stripe weren't copying over to our database. We keep a copy of every payment in our database too. And we ended up finding same thing, like 3 different situations that would cause problems for them not to be copied over. We ended up creating an overnight, a cron job that sends us an email report daily of anything that's not right. And about once a week, we find something new that we've never seen before. And we add to our.
So
What's that?
yeah, Amit, could there have been a test or a report or some check that would have told us earlier than us, kind of accidentally finding it?
Yes, that we can do it. Like the whatever report I run it now, we can do it like chronological way, like within some period of time, weekly, monthly. So we can run it. So we will have that report.
Okay, why don't you do that? And then if you could think of other reports like that help us catch things earlier on.
Yeah. So Jerry, what I can do, I will set up those reports and send it on mail, and you can configure that in points into the cron for weekly, like monthly.
That works.
Yeah, John, just to give you an idea, we run every night, we run somewhere around 15 or 20 different exception reports for Field 3, and we look for all kinds of anomalous data. And we only get emails maybe once a day, out of all of those reports, but we always find something like something we thought we fixed in the past that's now broken. A lot of the reports that we run are kind of at this point useless because we've so perfectly fixed all of the issues that led to the issues occurring in the first place that the report's found, but they still run just in case we miss something. I don't. They're not a burden on our system at all. I mean, they take hardly any system resources to run the query, and they happen overnight when nobody's really using the application, even if it was a heavy query. But we catch a lot, and we just keep adding to it. So it's just something to consider as we find these bugs. That it would be good to continue to add to automated system checks whenever we find these problems.
Yeah, very good point. Ahmed, are you able to do more
Yes.
of that systemized?
Yes, I can do it.
Okay, because I know you've been writing the unit test. Maybe you can incorporate some of that into weekly checks.
Yep.
Yeah, like a really good low tier, easy one to do is a very basic query of every user ID. Do they have a phone number? Like something very simple. They should all have a phone number. There should be no nulls in the database. And if there is, we should have a reason for it. So let us know daily, was a new user created without a phone number?
Right. Things like that, Ahmed.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Thank you, Ian.
Yep.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and purge those ones that didn't work and work on a fix on the front end and some back end stuff with it too for next week. Okay. What else do you have going on, Jerry?
All these dashboards. Like to say the dashboards and the SMSs.
Okay. Yep. Yeah. Okay. That'll keep you busy for a while. All right. Let me leave it there then with everyone. I'm gonna get some food. I'm starving. I'll be around. I am at McClellan. Todd, are you Todd, Danny, are you guys coming down here?
Sorry, yeah, I'll be there for sure.
Cool. Oh, Danny might be on a call, but I'll text him. So anyway, okay, I'll see you later, Todd. And anybody needs anything, I'll chat whenever you reach out. I'll be here.
Yep, thank you.
All right. Thanks, guys. Good job. Everyone's doing great.
Bye.
All right.